Good evening and welcome to the April 28th, 2025 Personnel Committee meeting. We'll start with roll. Director Durnell.
Here.
Director Fry.
Here.
Dr. Herman.
Here.
Great, and I'm here. Do we have any public comment?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't have anybody. And I don't have reference to the protocol.
Melinda will be here. She just is not here yet. And she'll be here for the board.
Yes.
We're fine. We're fine. It's no protocol.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Our first commenter is Christopher Manos.
Good evening, everybody. I just drove from Kearney, New Jersey from work to be here for this meeting, so thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. It's nice to see you all again. Before I start my remarks, I want to just say I'm very, very thankful to the Westchester Area School District, the school board, and all of the teachers for the education that they've provided my daughter Casey, who graduates in May, and our son Max, who is a freshman at Henderson. And with that in mind, I wanted to just make a comment about personnel, and that as we've gone through the last 4 or 5 years, there have been a couple of instances where I think there's a lot of, pardon the pun, schools of thought about what's best for the students. And one of the things I'd like the board to consider going forward is to allocate more resources towards specialized tutoring, because the school district appears to be administratively top-heavy, and I think that there could be a better allocation of the school's resources and the taxpayers' resources by having more focused tutoring for the students that need it the most. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll move to approve the February 24th, 2025 Personnel Committee meeting minutes. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? It's been moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 4 approved. Next, in terms of agenda topics, we'll start with the review and approval to purchase the VidCruiter program, and Dr. Ulmer is here to talk us through that.
Thank you very much. We're seeking approval from the Board of School Directors to purchase the VidCruiter program to enable the district to use video technology to aid in the hiring process. VidCruiter will significantly help our hiring process as it uses video capabilities for screening interviews, which number in the hundreds each year. We are also receiving a 20% discount because of the number of people that we have. The usual cost is $10,000 per year. We moved down to $8,000 per year for VidCruiter. It'll be a huge help for our processes as we move forward in hiring hundreds of teachers.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll just share in transparency, when you and I were speaking, I thought that this would be a tremendous initiative to improve the efficiency and the quality of our pre-screening processes in the district. So I'm looking forward to the results if we move forward with this initiative in terms of efficiency. Is there any discussion? Committee?
Question. Dr. Orr, will this be used for just hiring teachers or for all positions, including cabinet, all the way down to?
Yes, we can actually use this for all of our positions, but we will use it for the screening process because we feel it's very important to still be in person for the
Absolutely.
second and third rounds.
Absolutely. And it seems like this would definitely help us to cast a wider net.
Absolutely. Because
That's
it gives us so
what's
much
most
more
exciting
time
to me about
to
it.
get through. Yes, I agree.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there's a motion to approve the purchase of VidCruiter program. Can I get a second? Director Fry, thank you. And so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Great. Our next topic, also Dr. Ulmer, to review and approve the new Act 93 position and job description for the position of elementary assistant principal.
Director Parkinson, I'm actually going to speak to that tonight.
Okay, great.
Thank you. So in the proposed budget, there are 2 positions at the elementary level that would be assistant principals. And 2, because I know that we want to start this small and get it right and eventually maybe expand those roles. We have 11 elementary buildings. 2 of the buildings would, there would be 2 positions would share between 4 buildings. And the reason why we picked the buildings that we chose is the size of the building. If it's a Title I building, the special education programs that they have in those buildings, and also to talk about a succession plan for our elementary principals. The size, for instance, one of our buildings next year is projected to have 597 students. That's Starkweather. They also have the MDS classroom, and they are going to get an AS, an autistic support classroom next year. It just makes sense, and Starkweather is also a Title I school. It makes sense for an assistant principal to be there to support Mr. Meanix in the programming, building better family engagement, and really, investigating some disciplinary problems that would alleviate Mr. Meanix doing it so he could be the instructional leader at that building. Again, the size, the programmings, and the need in those buildings. And that's what I'm proposing in the budget this year, for next school year.
Well, I think in addition to the thought process and the criteria for selection, I find it a good idea to have the succession pool capability because I think that allows us to further develop, that next generation of talent that we can then, have at our availability in terms of, moving through the district. So for next year too, and then subsequently it'll be based on what the makeup is of the schools and what the needs are in terms of whether we extend.
Yes, so keep in mind that in the near future, we will be redistricting. So some of our buildings are not going to be have the high enrollment as it does right now. I'm not to say that Starkweather is going to be one of those buildings, but for Exton, for example, they are expected to have 564 students. They have a very high autistic support program at Exton, but we do know that we need to get relief out of Exton in the near future. So at 564 might not be 3 years from now. So what we would do is really look at the buildings and the building needs over the next several years to see where we want to share our assistant principals. We do have a plan for the four largest enrollment buildings, also their needs. So it would look like a shared position between 2 buildings. We haven't nailed down the minute particulars yet, but that's just the thinking of it right now.
Okay, great. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay. All right, so there is a motion to approve the new Act 93 position and job description of elementary assistant principal. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And then next, we'll cover the Act 93 salary range for that position of elementary assistant principal. Dr. Ulmer?
Yes, the new salary ranges for this position of assistant principal in the elementary school would be $110,173 through $129,000 $129,615,000. I worked with Mr. Scully and Dr. Christopher on our Act 93 rates that we have right now, and it fits into line with what we are looking at.
Any questions or comments? All right, then we have a motion to approve the Act 93 salary range for the position of elementary assistant principal. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, we'll move to the review and approval to add coordinators, 12 months, behavior specialists, nursing services, and social work, and pupil services assistant director positions to the Act 93 agreement. Dr. Ulmer?
Yes, we are looking to move to add the coordinators, 12-month behavior specialists, nursing services, and social work and pupil services assistant director positions to the Act 93 agreement from 10 months to 12 months.
Any discussion? All right, with that, we'll move forward to, there's a motion to approve the coordinators from 10 months to 12 months, behavior specialists, nursing services, and social work, and pupil services assistant director positions to the Act 93 agreement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. All right, and similarly now we'll move to the review and approval to establish the salary range for the coordinators, 12-month role, behavior specialist, nursing services, and social work positions. Dr. Ulmer?
Yes, just like we talked about before with the assistant principal positions, the salary range for these positions would be $103,852,000 through $124,622,000. And again, this falls in line with our Act 93 agreement and the percentages that we have discussed.
Thank you. Any discussion, comment? All right, so with that, we'll move to approve the Act 93 salary range for the coordinator, 10 to 12 months, moving from 10 to 12 months, behavior specialist, nursing services, and social work positions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we'll look to review and approve, review and remove for approval the assistant to the director's elementary, secondary, pupil services positions and the coordinator's 195 days social work and nursing services from the Act 93 agreement. Dr. Ulmer?
Yes, these are the positions that we are moving to 12 months a year. We will no longer need them at 10 months a year.
Thank you. Any discussion? With that said, there's a motion to approve the change. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on our agenda is to review and approve the Fox Rothschild engagement letter for the 2025-2026 school year. Dr. Ulmer?
Yes, every year in April, Jeffrey Sultanek, who acts as our labor counsel, who works with Fox Rothschild, sends us an engagement letter for what he will be doing with our district for the year, including hourly rates and his role with protecting the district.
Is there any discussion, comment? If not, then there's a motion to approve the Fox Rothschild engagement letter for the 2025-2026 school year. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I just have a question. Will that be attached so that we'd be able to see it, or we're just aware of it? Like, is it supposed to be attached to the board docs?
That should be attached to board docs.
Logged in,
It should-
it is, I think, we're not logged in.
Okay.
Yeah, it was attached to board docs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Our next committee meeting will be May 28th, 2025. Meeting adjourned.
would like to call to order the April 28th, 2025 meeting of the Westchester Area School Board. Tonight we welcome 3 students from Greystone Elementary, Grace Gomarucha, Andrew Smith, and Avian Pai. They will start by leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Their principal is Dr. Stephen, and then they'll let us know what's happening in Greystone. You guys want to come up?
Hello, my name is Grace Gomarucha, and I'm Miss Mitchen's 5th grade class at Greystone Elementary. Not only do I love the environment, but I love the great activities inside and outside of school. My favorite thing I love about the activities inside of school is the teachers always take it above and beyond to make it special for the kids. For example, in reading, usually you would learn a lesson and move around with your friends to do an activity, but the teachers in our grade do reading groups. We move into different classes and we read different books, do different activities, and get to see the friends, get to hang out with our friends that we only see at lunch or recess. What I like outside of the projects and learning is the Kona ice after. After the PSAs and all the learning we do at the end of the year, we get Kona ice. It's a fun activity to sit back, relax, and enjoy chatting with friends, and of course, eating the water ice. As you can see, we have lots of opportunities to have fun and learn at the same time.
Hello everyone, my name is Avian Pai. I'm a 5th grader in Mr. Johnson's class at Greystone Elementary School. I'm here today to tell you about what we do at Greystone. I thought the most fun thing to do at school this year was watching the talent show. It was a great way to see everybody show their unique talents. It ranged from singing and dancing all the way to gymnastics and stop motion. My favorite project in school was the Bill of Rights project. We learned about all 10 of the amendments and we had to make a slideshow about them. My favorite amendments were the 1st, 4th, 8th, and 9th. It was a fun and entertaining project for me. Thank you for allowing me to be here and thank you for your time.
Hi, my name is Andrew Smith, 5th grader in Mrs. Holiday's class. Something fun we do is Fun Friday. Fun Fridays are where we go to another teacher every Friday and do math activities. Another thing is a track meet. The track meet is really fun because we get to talk to our friends and also get to choose our field events. And we also get to race against other schools. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. You must all be very excited about all the great activities that you have between now and the end of the year. And moving on to middle school. I can't remember, which middle school does Greystone move on to? Pearson Fugate. Okay, great. Well, enjoy and good luck. And Dr. Christopher and I will be up to give you your certificate.
Andrew, we can start with you. So we're going to practice graduation, okay? So you want to turn around towards Molly here, and I'm going to hand this to you and shake your hand at the same time. So we'll practice your 5th grade graduation. There you go, you got it. Okay, but don't leave yet because you're going to get a group photo. Okay? Then we have Avian. And I will practice your graduation. Nice job. Right, and Brittany. Now we'll get a group photo with Dr. Christopher and Dr. Stephen.
In the middle? Stephen, you want to go around?
All right, now hold up your certificate. And smile. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, good luck.
moving on, we have no special announcements this evening. Next on the agenda is roll call. Ms. Cherisher?
Vice President Edelakwa,
Here.
Director Christie,
Here.
Director Dietrich,
Here.
Director Durnell,
Here.
President Fleming,
Here.
Director Fry,
Here.
Director Herman,
Here.
Director Parkinson,
Here.
Director Walmsley, Madison Matthew,
Here.
Peter Kennedy,
Here.
Diana Munoz Lopez.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Cherisher. That leads us to public comment. Mrs. Sundquist, do we have any comment on agenda items tonight?
Yes, there are 3 comments on agenda items this evening, so I'll read the statement and then I'll call the names. Now is the time for public comment on agenda items. The board will follow the procedures established in policy 903. All individuals wishing to comment this evening were required to properly register prior to the designated start time of tonight's meeting by completing the information specified on the public comment registration card. Once called to the podium, each commenter will begin by stating their first and last name and municipality. Each speaker must limit their comments to 3 minutes or less per public comment period. Commenters may not cede their time to other individuals. Individuals will be notified by the time clock when their time allotted for public comment has expired. There will be a second public comment period at the end of the meeting for comments from residents following the same guidelines. The board asks that all commentary be directed to the board as a whole. Public comments may be interrupted or terminated if the commentary exceeds 3 minutes or if the commentary is obscene and or threatening in nature. The first speaker this evening is Christopher Manos.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak again. I'm Christopher Manos from East Bradford Township. And a couple of comments. First, about the Equity Committee and our equity goals. I wanted to say thank you to the school district and the school board for the way that the equity program has clearly expanded through all of the great musical directors, the music program. It's truly remarkable. My daughter and my son both participate in it. It has really broadened the engagement of a lot of different students from a lot of different walks of life. I've had the opportunity to talk to some of the students who said they initially never thought that they would try to be in a play, and now they're like a lead in it. So that's a really remarkable thing, and I thank you for that. The second comment I would like to make that relates to equity is that I would like the school district to ensure that not only diversity and equity of variety of things, but diversity of thought is allowed to be unleashed or broadened so that there doesn't become like a kind of conformity of ideas or ideological conformity. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
The next speaker is Judy DeFonso.
Hi, Judy DeFonso, still living in East Goshen. I wasn't planning on speaking at this part of the meeting, but there was something that was said during the personnel meeting that I just wanted to, as I say, it made my heart drop. Like, having an autism support classroom at Starkweather, and I'm assuming that those students would move on to Fugate, where the middle school has their autism support. We used to do that. It was very, very hard on the students. Autism is generally associated with a deficit in social skills. These kids have a hard time making friends. Having them jump feeder patterns is not a good thing. I would ask the school district to reconsider putting an autism support group classroom in Starkweather and to move it into one of the buildings that feeds to Fugit so that these students can stay with their cohort as they move from 5th grade to 6th grade. I'll tell you, it's been heartbreaking, the stories that I've heard when we used to jump feeder patterns, and we worked with our previous pupil services director to get the autism and multiple disabilities and intellectual disabilities to line up with their feeder patterns. And it just upsets me no end to see these kids being, having to jump feeder patterns with like I said, I'm not prepared. I'm just really speaking from the heart. It's just going to be hard on them, and I'd ask you to please reconsider to put it into one of the buildings where they will move with their cohort into middle school, because the middle school transition is very difficult. Thank you.
The last public commenter is Megan Rycox.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Megan Rycob. I live in East Goshen, and I'm a little out of practice. I haven't been here in a while. Been busy. My kids are at the end of their high school careers, and my daughter is this close to making her decision. We've got decision day coming up on Thursday. But with all of that, despite being out of practice, I took the opportunity to review some of the policies that are going to have their reading this evening. And I just wanted to let you all know that I have the practice of looking at the changes that are being made, and even still, I find the policy 701 facilities planning, that the change of wording is a little bit unclear. And it's being changed to the input of a diverse group of stakeholders is an important and valued part of the process. And I find that to be a little bit nebulous, because the previous wording actually indicated very explicitly that the stakeholders included the board and staff and parents and the community. And with all of this, it's kind of tangentially related to the non-agenda comment that I'm going to be making. But I do think that it's related to how some of the stakeholders feel left out of the process right now. So I do just ask you, because you're all very familiar and you look at the policies very often, make sure that you're looking at it from a perspective of someone who doesn't go to a meeting, someone who doesn't have that familiarity, and ensuring that it is as clear as possible for when someone needs to refer to it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight to speak. And we'll move on to approval of minutes. So, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 24th, 2025 meeting? I have a first from Dr. Dietrich and a second from Director Fry. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I also have an announcement of an executive session and the subject matter. Ms. Cherishore, please note in the minutes that the board met in executive session tonight, April 24th, 2025, regarding a legal and personnel matter. We'll move on to approve the agenda tonight. I don't believe we have any amendments to the agenda. Now would be the opportunity for anybody if you would like to request a change to the agenda. And seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the April 28th, 2025 agenda? I have a first from Vice President Beverlacqua. May I have a second? I have a second from Director Christie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And now Dr. Christopher will give his monthly superintendent report.
All right, I have a brief report before I'm going to do a little bit of a presentation. But first, I would like to welcome everyone and thank you for being with us tonight. As we get deeper into the spring months, concert projects, competitions, celebrations, so much more. It's such a busy and exciting time for our school community. It's time where it's easy to lose track of whether something happened this month, this week, or just yesterday. Under educating, we have some elementary initiatives that we had presentations on this week. So this spring, we continued sharing information with our families about some important instructional changes coming next school year. At the elementary level, we will be piloting departmentalization at 3 of our schools, East Goshen, Fernhill, and Starkweather, for grades 4 and 5. Families recently had the opportunity to learn more about this model, which allows teachers to specialize in specific subject areas. We believe this approach will benefit students by providing more dedicated subject engagement, strengthening their preparation for the middle school experience, and deepening learning in their core content areas. Families were also invited to share their questions and feedback at that meeting. Additionally, we also held an information night to discuss expansion of the standards-based reporting to all grades K-5 next year. With this shift, families will see more detailed evaluations of student performance in their specific skill areas on report cards, offering clear insights into both their child's strengths and areas for growth. Our goal is to provide families with a deeper understanding of what students are learning and how they can support their continued development. Families can find the presentations and frequently asked questions about both initiatives on our initiatives page on the district website. In addition, because of increases in the autism support programmatic needs in the district, we are planning to add autism support to the Ruston feeder pattern, beginning with the new support class at Starkweather next year. So even though Starkweather will be the first building, we anticipate that we will be adding autism support throughout the feeder pattern because of the number of additional classrooms that we have in the school district. Spring testing, our students are taking the PSSAs. I'm sure everyone's very excited about that. I've been doing an exceptional job. Our kids are working really hard and keeping the energy up and adapting well to the online testing format. We're looking forward to, with great confidence, to our high school students will begin taking Keystone exams in the coming weeks. You know, this season can be demanding for students, and we're incredibly proud of how they are rising to the challenge. We also want to express our sincere thanks to our teachers, building staff, technology teams, and assessment teams who work tirelessly behind the scenes to provide the support, encouragement, and logistics needed to help these testing windows run as smoothly as possible. We have summer programming coming up. We're excited to share that information about our robust summer program will be available soon. We're finalizing a variety of offerings designed to support continued learning, enrichment, and exploration for students across all grade levels. From academic opportunities to creative programs, these opportunities will help students stay engaged and build on the progress they made this year. Families can expect to see more details shared in the coming weeks. We'd also like to make sure that we announce that earlier this month we had the pleasure of celebrating one of WCSD's finest. With special guests from Citadel Credit Union, we honored Greystone Elementary's Nina McGlinchey as our district's Citadel Heart of Learning Award recipient. I was in Nina's classroom this year, and she is a kindergarten teacher, and there is no doubt about that. As a kindergarten teacher, she creates a warm, welcoming environment where students and families feel at home from the very first day. Her dedication to educating and inspiring not only her students, but also her colleagues is truly exceptional. Nina's passion and commitment make a lasting impact in our school community, and we're proud to recognize her outstanding contributions. We are proud to also share that several of our high school students have been recognized for outstanding artwork at the Chester County High School Art Exhibition. The art was on display at the Chester County Art Association for just over a week. Exceptional pieces from all 3 high schools were all featured, showcasing the incredible creativity and talent of our students. Congratulations to Mia, Esme, and Alea for receiving awards for their work, a wonderful reflection of their skill, passion, and dedication to the arts. Next month, we will look forward to celebrating and recognizing some of our exceptional students and staff alongside the school board. So it was a fun way to end the school year in May. We're actually going to bring our Westchester Waymakers, all those awardees here, as well as our students who have won state level recognition this year. Now, I would like to move into just a brief presentation looking at a proposed timeline for the high school schedule implementation. So I've been working with Michelle Curry-Kramer, who is the president of the Westchester Area Education Association, on a timeline that we think we could agree to for implementing the schedule and for moving forward, while also creating benchmarks for the staff and community. I think it's important that we have some shared governance related to this, so that we would have WCSD members and also WCAEA members on a district level governance team. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me. Additionally, a student from each high school would serve on the team. We think it's important to formalize the process. While there have been lots of ongoing meetings with high school teachers, students, administrators, department chairs, And we've actually solved many problems and concerns that folks have brought to us. It's become apparent that formalizing the process with benchmarks and expected dates of completion is needed to ensure that staff concerns are addressed in a timely fashion prior to implementation. In addition, the district governance team will have clear dates for proceeding on the current timeline, which will foster better transparency and provide more information to the community. We understand that there are some significant concerns, and we need to ensure that as a group, the two of us work together, and our schools work together with school level teams to address those challenges and ensure that we can continue on the timeline that we have proposed. We are confident that with the collaboration of our schools and all stakeholders, we can successfully work through the issues and move forward. So some clear benchmarks excuse me, for us to look at. So lunch and learn facilities, I know has been a big question that folks have had, especially I believe at Henderson High School. So the idea would be that we would have a substantially completed plan for what that would look like for a board presentation in November of 2025, with an expected school board action date in February, which would allow the board to take action on any financial things they may need to move forward with so that work could be completed by August of 2026. We could move these up for moving quicker, but those would be the timelines we would need to hit to ensure that we would be in a position where we would have the things correct and finished by that time. Food service areas, I think one thing that we've identified in numerous places where we've done these visits and looked at this is that there is at least one additional serving area in each high school in a second location. So trying to identify where that would be and what that would look like and how that would be staffed would be also, we need to have that presented to the board by November. If there's an action item, if there are expenses, we need to move forward on by February, and then certainly completion date by August. Same thing for seating and collaboration spaces, creating additional seating and collaboration spaces for students in each high school. Once again, school board presentation by November, school board action date by February, and final completion date by August. So when you're seeing construction, those kinds of things, they would run through our facilities committee and would likely go through our capital projects group in terms of how we would fund it. They could also be using cafeteria funding for that. The reason the February action date is on some of these items is to ensure that they would be out to bid if they need bidded, or if they're not bidded, that we would have substantial time to complete them if there's significant construction, although we do not anticipate that at this time. Lunch and learn supervision, once again, school board presentation date by November, action date of April. And the reason for that is if there's any additional staffing that would need to be hired to make this work, that would happen at the April board meeting when the proposed budget would actually, the preliminary budget would be approved in the 26th school year. And the completion date to ensure that folks are in place for those roles would be in August of 26. Technology and safety supports. Are there additional technology things we need? Badge readers, cameras, anything like that to support student safety and supervision. I think also developing and reviewing lunch and learn expectations with students. We anticipate that's going to happen this summer. We anticipate that next year lunch and learn is going to look a whole lot different in all three of our high schools because of that. That'll be work that our building teams will be working on throughout the year so that next year's lunch and learn process works better than this year's lunch and learn is working. But once again, school board presentation date, and that's why you see August on that, 2025. We anticipate that needs to be done prior to the school year with an action date of April, once again, because if there are staffing or budgetary concerns, they would be through the budget. And a completion date of August. Scheduling for all programs. Certainly all programs, including specialty programs, are effectively integrated and scheduled within the new proposed model. We're pretty close right now, to be honest with you. There are a couple things that we have not been able to substantially address yet. APT, we have some questions about special education staffing for direct instruction, related services, but we've met at this point with FCS and have really worked out how to make Ed Practicum and the pre-K program work. We've went with science chairs to talk about science labs and how we can make those work within the schedule. We have a full day schedule with our music teachers here at the end of the month to look at music scheduling. A lot of that has to do with traveling teachers between the middle and the high school level, which will be more challenging. And world language would be the same type of issue. TCHS we can make work in the current schedule. We already have worked. We actually had the principal of TCHS was on our committee. I think PIDEA is a question we've had. We think that can work pretty easily, but we need to flesh that out exactly. The Allied Health Internship, we've also created a schedule. We can make that work as well. So I think some of the things that people had concerns about, we have been able to meet. with individuals who actually run those programs or are in charge of scheduling them, and been able to identify how those could work within the schedule and what types of things we might need to think about. Aligning graduation requirements. So students will move from a total of 28 scheduled classes potentially to 32 scheduled classes, although we have about 15% of our kids who take 8 classes a day, essentially 8 credits a day. But the majority of kids will have additional courses they could take. So what does that look like in terms of adding graduation requirements? In the current graduation requirements, kids could actually graduate in 3 years, which we think doesn't make a lot of sense. So do we add additional courses that are required? What does that look like? That will be part of the governance team, and certainly be something we'd be meeting with high school staff with specifically to try and identify what that would look like. But you see a school board date there of October for a plan, and then December is the date here because that is when the course catalog is actually approved by the board, the catalog course of studies. So that would be the time that would have to be identified if we're going to make those changes, with the completion date of April, once again, as we're moving forward with the staffing and the budget. Staff retention in the schedule. We'd anticipate that we'd be able to ensure the implementation of new schedule does not result in any net staff loss. To do that, we would have to work through the staffing process in February. And so we have those dates. The school board presentation and action would actually be at the board meeting in February. That is when we are normally doing our staff run and trying to identify where our expected timelines would be, with the completion date, final date of April, which is the preliminary budget. Training for schedule instruction. I think planning for teachers receive training and collaboration time to effectively transition from a fixed daily schedule to a rotating schedule for instruction. So we think we should have our professional development plan for next year rolled out by the end of this school year. With the school board action date, meaning if there's additional things we need in October, and certainly completion by August 2026. But we anticipate there are PD plan for the year next year, which would include how we intend to ensure that there is time for staff to work on this throughout the school year next year would be approved actually in June. Next steps. So we'll schedule a family town hall before the end of the year, much like we did with the departmentalization and also with the standards-based reporting. That should happen sometime in May. We're looking for a date. It's kind of challenging, obviously, with the amount of things that are going on in May. Ongoing building department meetings will continue to occur throughout the timeline, so those have been happening. I know that our principals invited staff to participate in a building team at their building. That would funnel up into the district governance team, and we would have to identify when we've met substantial completion related to planning and then related to execution of the plan. Many of the plan solutions to key concerns will require board action, whether it's through the proposed budget, whether it's through the purchase of furniture, or whether it's through a project where we have someone put benches in where there were lockers. We likely will not do that work internally. Those things would come through the capital project plan. And so we will continue to have opportunities at the board meeting to have those conversations. And that's all. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to our student reps who are ready, I think.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed your spring break and have been able to smoothly get back into the routine of things. April has been a busy month for East, so I'm excited to share with you some of the things we've been up to. Making history in their very first season ever, our girls flag football team finished undefeated at 9-0 and won their division. At this point, their highlight reel might need its own documentary. By prioritizing teamwork, sportsmanship, and fun, the girls had a great season and are looking forward to their first playoff game on May 13th. Track and field has been busy competing in competitions all over the area. Several of our athletes have qualified for Chessmonts and district championships, and we recently had 2 school records broken. Devin Towell in the 800 meter and Jacob Joslin in shot put. We're very proud of all of our athletes. This month, 4 of our science teachers spoke at the National Science Teaching Association Conference in Philadelphia. They shared their experiences teaching new science standards and offered guidance for other educators. Many PA teachers found the session valuable, highlighting East's dedication to innovation and student engagement. Congratulations to Senna Wardell and Jonathan Sam for placing first and second in the annual WCASD poetry contest. We are proud of them and are honored to have such creative students among us. On April 4th, East hosted its 15th annual House of Hope charity concert benefiting Home of the Sparrow, a charity supporting local women and children facing homelessness. This event was a huge success as we were able to raise over $15,000. Kathleen Sanger, Director of Development for Home of the Sparrow, attended the concert and stated, "In today's world, with everyone expressing differences, the House of Hope concert is a night of common good. Everyone is there to support each other and to celebrate every musician, dancer, singer, MC, planning committee, and stage crew member. A huge thank you to all who contributed their time and effort towards this event." This year's junior prom, once upon a time, was a night to remember. Thank you to our advisors, class officers, and all of our parent volunteers for making this night a success. On April 16th, Student Council hosted our annual Viking Slam, a school-wide volleyball tournament supporting Bringing Hope Home, a nonprofit supporting families with cancer. Teams were required to play in themed costumes, but the Smurfs really took it to the next level by painting themselves entirely blue for the game. Talk about dedication to the bit. Their dedication won them best costume and free donuts. It was a fantastic day and we're already looking forward to next year. Congratulations to Jimmy Diorio and Akshara Namagata for representing EHS in the speech and debate state competition at Bloomsburg University. Thank you to their coach and East teacher, Mrs. Rosenthal, for making this experience possible. Good things to come next season. Congrats to the EHS academic team on their third place finish in Chester County. The students earned $500 in scholarships from Franklin Mint for their accomplishment. Stay tuned for the state playoffs on May 2nd at the Capitol Building in Harrisburg. Speaking of the Capitol Building, the East Chamber Choir performed there this month. The students performed 6 selections and were introduced and honored in the Senate chamber. It was definitely a memorable day for all. Congratulations to Skylar Lorento and Danica Bauer for being named the Technical College High School Students of the Quarter. They are recognized for their positive attitude and scholarship, and we're proud to call them our own. Our indoor color guard team has achieved something truly remarkable. They placed first in their last 7 competitions in a row. This streak is not only an incredible accomplishment, but a school record for the team. They also won first place and a gold medal at Mid-Atlantic Championships. We're extremely proud of their accomplishments this season. East 11th grader Katie Hebe was honored at a walk organized by staff and students at East Goshen Elementary. Katie, who was diagnosed with cancer last year, continues the fight and is on the EHS Minithon Committee. The first annual Minithon, a dance marathon, was held last Friday at East. This fundraising effort supported kids fighting cancer and their families. The College and Career Fair took place on April 24th during Viking Block and 5th period. This fair was designed to give students the opportunity to explore a wide range of career paths and post-secondary options. It also introduced them to volunteer opportunities, internships, summer jobs, and other ways to actively engage in our community. Like I said, the Vikings had an extremely busy month, but a fun one nevertheless. I look forward to seeing you all next month for the final school board report of the year. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great month and enjoying the nice weather and fighting those allergies, because I know I am. Rustin has been super busy this month, and I'm very excited to update you all. On April 2nd, we were able to recognize the following 10 students at the 27th Annual Spelman Humanitarian Award Ceremony: Leah Ambrosini, Victoria DeLisi, Macy Fisher, Drew Gaffney, Alina Huang, Dia Lakshmanan, Henry Matonis, Emily Miller, Diana Munoz-Lopez, and Emma Skinner. These students have gone above and beyond to demonstrate a commitment to serving others and improving the lives of people in need, creating a positive impact on our community. On April 12th, Preston held junior prom, which is Great Gatsby themed. The parents did an amazing job with decorations. I've never seen a cafeteria and bathroom look so fancy before. On April 15th, we held our annual speaking and film contest, where students were able to showcase their public speaking and video production skills. Through April 19th, over 30 Preston student artworks were featured in the Chester County High School Art Exhibition. The exhibit featured art from high schools all over Westchester County, where students were able to demonstrate their works, gain networking opportunities, and connect with other local artists. On April 24th, we are proud to recognize 33 students with the Knights with Character Award. This award acknowledges students for their outstanding actions to support a culture of excellence. These students were nominated for displaying the following traits: responsible, confident, involved, accepting, engaged, and respectful. On April 29th and May 7th, our orchestra and band groups will be having their concerts. They will be able to showcase their hard work and dedication by featuring a mix of individual and ensemble performances. Over this past weekend, our theater department performed Broadway Review, which was their last show of the year. This musical reviewed the past 125 years of Broadway through student-selected songs, rehearsals, and choreography. It was full of so much excitement and energy. The Ruston Science Olympiad team had an eventful weekend at States, which was held at Penn State Altoona. Overall, they placed 9th in the state and medaled in several categories, including 4th in micromission, 5th in experimental design, 6th in astronomy, and more. Ruston is extremely proud of all their hard work and dedication, and the team is excited to return next year and work even harder. On May 2nd, Ruston will be holding their annual Spike the Rock volleyball tournament. This event helps raise money for families who are battling cancer and having a difficult time paying rent, utilities, and other essentials. This year, our goal is to raise $50,000 for those families and help alleviate the stress and financial burdens they may be facing. Some of the prizes for raising money include speakers, backpacks, Phillies tickets, and a chance to visit the Nova Care Complex to get a private tour of the Eagles practice facility and even meet some of the players and coaches. Our senior year is coming to an end. On May 5th, we'll be holding a Commitment Day Sunrise Tailgate, where we will be coming together and celebrating students' decisions and teacher plans. Last tailgate, there was a student who brought his grill and started cooking pancakes and bacon and eggs, and I'm really hoping he comes back with it because I love free breakfast. On May 9th, our senior class will be having their senior prom, which I'm very excited about. It will be held at Kingsmill Banquet and filled with good food and lots of dancing. We will be also having our post-prom at Ruston, and it's Philly themed this year. There'll be over 80 prizes to win, including an Apple Watch, a movie night bundle, gift cards, paddleboards, and fingers crossed I win some of them. It's our favorite time of the year, AP and Keystone testing, I know. Our teachers and students have been working hard by having review sessions and sharing resources. We know that everyone will do great. Our girls softball team is 14-1 as they've beaten schools like Westchester East and Henderson. Keep up the great work, girls, and we hope you had an amazing senior night last week. Congratulations to Ruston head football coach Mike St. Clair for being named the District 1 Pennsylvania Scholastic Football Coaches Association Coach of the Year. For the 5th year in a row, the girls, track, and field team have been the Chess 1 American champions. Congratulations. Everyone has been working extremely hard this month, and we can't wait to see what Ruston will do next. I can't believe I only have one speech left. Thank you so much.
Making me want pancakes over there, oh my God. Good evening, everyone. I hope you have had a wonderful April so far and enjoyed all of your spring breaks. Here's tonight's report for the month of April at Henderson High School. Starting with our music department, from April 3rd to 5th, upperclassmen traveled down to our nation's capital for an action-packed weekend of music and education. During the trip, students had the opportunity to watch a performance by the National Symphony Orchestra at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, work alongside faculty of American University School of Music in an ensemble clinic, CDC on a cruise of the Potomac River, walk the National Mall, and tour several of the Smithsonian institutions, museums. It's awesome. From April 10th through 12th, 10 Henderson students participated in the PMEA All-State Music Festival at the Kalahari Resort in the Poconos. At the end of the festival, Nate Niederman, Skylar Trudeau, and Heidi Krug were named to the PMEA All-State Band. Brooke Kaufman, Daniel Cruson, Constantine Silverstoff, Leo Garcia Rodriguez, and Jackson Ogden were named to the All-State Choir, and Charlie Platt was named to the All-State Orchestra. Congratulations to all of the musicians on their achievement. April also saw the All-Eastern Choir Festival in Hartford, Connecticut, in which 3 Henderson students performed. Representing Henderson were seniors Daniel Cruson, Heidi Krug, and Brooke Kaufman, all of whom medaled in their events. Congratulations, Daniel, Heidi, and Brooke. In other news, this past weekend, students on our Science Olympiad team competed in the Pennsylvania Science Olympiad State Tournament at the Penn State Altoona campus. Sophomore Augustianala and senior Mananchetta medaled in their events. Congratulations, boys, on your hard work. On Earth Day, students enrolled in Ms. Schneider's AP Environmental Science and Marine Biology classes competed at Envirothon at Hibernia State Park against 25 teams from high schools across Chester County. a competition testing students' knowledge of earth science and environmental stewardship. Students competed in events focused on forestry, geology, zoology, aquatics, and climate change. Henderson's team, composed of students Mason Gardner, Lydia Corbett, Jason Rice, and Aaron Laird, placed 4th overall. Congratulations. On April 19th, Henderson's academic team, led by Aiden Anderson, Siddharth Sumesh, Kyle Mead, and Vijay Nair, took home 1st place at the Eastern Pennsylvania Regional Championship, beating out Great Valley in a contentious final round. Congratulations to the team on their hard work. On April 24th, members of Henderson's Astronomy Club visited Mather Planetarium at Westchester University. There, students met with faculty at the university's College of Science and Mathematics, discussed careers in the field of astronomy, and viewed the university's state-of-the-art telescope. The Pennsylvania HOSA State Leadership Conference also took place earlier this month. During the conference, Henderson senior Tara Ramesh ended her tenure as president of the state chapter, and freshman Abhi Pramod was elected state HOSA secretary for next year. Congratulations, Tara Abhi, on your accomplishment. On April 10th, over 115 students recognized for their commitment and academic excellence and service to the community were inducted into the Henderson chapter of the National Honor Society. We congratulate all of the inductees on their achievement. On April 2nd, 10 Henderson seniors were honored with the Spelman Humanitarian Award alongside students from Ruston and East. The award commended students' commitment to service, leadership, and citizenship in their communities. Therefore, I'd like to congratulate students Peter Kennedy, Madeline Miller, Jayashri Muthukrishnan, Elena Pattersby, Benjamin Pence, Tara Ramesh, Sophie Ravel, Talia Salome, and Ruhi Chausi on their award. And finally, before I end my speech tonight, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Ellen Salome. Ellen was a beloved member of the freshman class, the Student Senate, and the Westchester and Henderson communities. She passed away peacefully on April 14th at the age of 15 alongside her family, and I'd like to offer our thoughts and prayers for Ellen and her family. On Friday, May 2nd, Henderson's Chamber Choir will perform a concert in her honor at the Good Samaritan Church in Paoli, and on May 7th, Henderson's Concert Orchestra will play a concert in her honor. All are invited to support her family and honor her memory. Thank you, and that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Peter, Diana, and Madison, and good luck with the next few weeks. It's an exciting time. And we'll move on to Dr. Ulmer and this month's personnel report.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming. Good evening, board, Ms. Fleming, Mr. Bevilacqua, members of our board. Our personnel report for the month of April 2025 is as follows. With removals from payroll, we have 4 resignations, 2 teachers and 2 custodians. We also have 15 retirement notifications. Mr. John Alvanatakis, health physical education teacher at Ruston High School with 21 years of service. Ms. Marian Barkowski, kindergarten teacher at Westtown Thornbury Elementary School with 16 years of service. Ms. Cynthia Claffey, English teacher at Stetson Middle School with 19 years of service. Mrs. Sharon Dean, English language arts teacher at Pierce Middle School with 18 years of service. Ms. Ann Ellis, music teacher at Ruston High School and Pierce Middle School with 25 years of service. Mrs. Loretta Gallagher, technology specialist at East Goshen Elementary School with 12 years of service. Mrs. Lisa Howe, reading specialist at Glen Acres Elementary School with 19 years of service. Mrs. Joni LePage, health and physical education teacher at Hillsdale Elementary with 22 years of service. Mrs. Kathy Logothetis, founding consumer science teacher at Henderson High School with 25 years of service. Mrs. Mary Aguirre, English teacher at East High School with 8 years of service. Mrs. Alka Shrivastava, special education paraprofessional at Fernhill Elementary School with 21 years of service. Mrs. Kathleen Teague, schools counselor at Henderson High School with 24 years of service. Ms. Amy Thomas, instructional coach at Hillsdale Elementary School with 28 years of service. Mr. Reggie Washington, health teacher at Fugit Middle School with 36 years of service. And Mrs. Cynthia Wesley, English teacher at Fugit Middle School with 18 years of service. This represents 312 years of combined experience and service in Westchester Area School District. We wish our 15 the retirees a happy and healthy retirement, and we are very thankful for their service. We wish them all the best in this next exciting chapter in their lives. In addition to payroll, we are recommending the hiring of 1 certified school nurse and 2 loan service substitutes. Additionally, we are very lucky to be recommending 2 administrators to the Westchester Area School District team. First, we have Mrs. Maggie Hunt, we are recommending as the principal of Ruston High School. Maggie comes to us from Chadsford School District. Maggie, would you please stand and be recognized this evening? Congratulations, Maggie. Secondly, we have Dr. Patricia Pardini, who we are recommending as an assistant principal at Ruston High School. Dr. Pardini is coming to us from William Penn School District. And Dr. Pete Pardini will meet our board at a later time, as she could not be here this evening. We're also recommending 1 English language paraprofessional and 1 third-shift custodian. We're recommending 4 substitute custodians. In personnel events, I communicated and delivered 1 status change in the custodial unit. Furthermore, I communicated and delivered 31 involuntary transfers in the teaching staff for the 25-26 school year, and 15 voluntary transfers in the teaching staff for the 25-26 school year. Also, we are recommending the approval of 4 sabbaticals. In additional information, we are reporting 1 updated start date, a last day of work date, the approval of 2 memorandum of understanding between the Professional Education Association and the district to bring forward 2 supplemental contracts, 1 for girls golf and 1 for girls flag football. I'm also seeking approval for 31 drivers and substitute drivers from Crafts buses and 16 drivers and aides from On The Go Kids busing. We are also bringing forth 6 additions to our tutoring list as tutors, homebound tutors, and site managers. In supplemental contracts, we're adding 5 annual contracts for the 24-25 school year, 2 additions to the spring season for the 24-25 school year, 123 additions to the fall season of 25-26 school year, and 1 removal from this spring season. Lastly, we are requesting the approval for 6 candidates for game help. I'm respectfully requesting board approval for all the personnel matters listed above. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Olger. May I have a motion to approve the April 28, 2025 personnel recommendations as presented? I have a first from Dr. Dietrich and a second from Vice President Beverlacqua. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next, we'll approve the consent agenda for tonight. Do we have any comments or items to be removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion to approve the April 28, 2025 consent agenda as listed? I have a first from Director Fry and a second from Dr. Herman. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We'll move on to our committee report. We'll start with Director Dornell and our Teaching, Learning, and Equity Committee report.
Thank you, President Fleming. The Teaching, Learning, and Equity Committee met on Tuesday, April 15th. We had a number of action items. After hearing a presentation from Mrs. Bailey, we approved the core instructional materials being used for the secondary reading support. We then heard a presentation from Dr. Brown, and we approved the Teaching, Learning, and Equity Curriculum Summary Budget. Also, we heard a brief presentation from Dr. Brown seeking approval for a contract with A.J. Giuliani to support professional development. That was approved. And we also heard the final revised calendar for the 2024-2025 school year, and that was approved after a presentation from Dr. Messett. And then finally, we sought approval and received approval for the required of the Public School Code designated local holidays for the 2025-26 Westchester Area School District calendar. That was also approved. Our next Teaching and Learning and Equity Committee meeting will be held on May 13th, and all are invited. That concludes my report.
And Director Durnell, do you have an item to be approved by the board tonight?
Is it in here? Yes, there is. Nope, that's not it. Approval is requested for the adoption of the 2025-2026 Teaching, Learning, and Equity Curriculum Summary Budget. All in favor, say aye.
I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
I have a motion from Director Durnell for the approval of the 25-26 Teaching, Learning, and Equity Curriculum Summary Budget. I have a first from Director Durnell. May I have a second? Dr. Dietrich? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Director Durnell.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our Personnel Committee report with Director Parkinson.
The April Personnel Committee meeting was held immediately preceding tonight's board meeting. Minutes from that meeting are not yet available. I do, however, seek approval is requested for the purchase of VidCruiter program. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson to approve the purchase of VidCruiter program. And Director Parkinson has several items that the board will vote to approve, and we're voting as a full board because the Personnel Committee meeting was held directly in front or before this meeting, which is why we're voting as a full board rather than the committee. So I have a first from Director Parkinson. Do I have a second? Vice President Bevilacqua. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval is also requested for the new Act 93 position and job description for the position of elementary assistant principal. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. Do I have a second? Dr. Herman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval is requested to establish the Act 93 salary range for the position of elementary assistant principal. The range being $110,173 to $139,371. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. May I have a second? Director Durnell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval is requested to establish approval is requested to add 12-month coordinators, behavior specialists, nursing services, and social work, as well as pupil services assistant director positions to the Act 93 agreement. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. May I have a second? Vice President Bevilacqua. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval is requested to establish the Act 93 salary range for the 12-month coordinator, behavior specialist, nursing services, and social work positions for the range of $103,852 to $134,002. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. May I have a second? Dr. Dietrich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Approval is requested to remove the assistant to the director's elementary, secondary pupil services positions and the coordinator's 195 days social work and nursing services from the Act 93 agreement. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. May I have a second? Director Durnell. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And lastly, approval is requested of the Fox Rothschild's engagement letter for the 2025-2026 school year at the blended hourly rate of $250. I so move.
I have a first from Director Parkinson. May I have a second? Dr. Herman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. All right, thank you, Director Parkinson. I believe you have more, or? I believe that was it. Okay, thank you. Vice President Bevilacqua will now give the Property and Finance Committee report.
Good evening. The Property and Finance Committee was held last week on April 22nd. We had the opportunity for three Stetson Middle School students came to speak to us. And they came to speak to us about a case study they performed in school. They researched on ways to drive down transportation costs in a sustainable manner. Each of the three students presented a section that included sports transportation, Cyber Fridays, and strategic routing ideas. So some things we'll just discuss offline and talk about a little bit further. As we do at each of the Property and Finance Committee meetings, Mr. Scully reviewed the budget forecast model. The net projection changes for this school year, 24-25, resulted in an increase in fund balance designations for future millage increases of a total price of $1.29 million. The changes to next year's school budget, the 25-26 projections, and the utilization of those 24-25 savings resulted in a budget gap decrease of $690K. Mr. Scully then provided to both the Property and Finance and the full board a financial summary. He pointed out that Chester County tax rate increase is currently set at 3.4%, which is under the current Act 1 limit for Chester County. The administration, as they always do, will continue to review these projections for potential savings to reduce the millage impact to the 25-26 final budget. More to come on that next month. Next thing, Mr. Scully presented a proposed 25-26 general fund budget, which included an overview of the Act 1 process, the taxation limits, the 25-26 budget challenges facing the district, a 10-year historical look at mandated expenses and subsidies, a comparison of revenues and expenses for both the 24-25 and the 25-26 school year, a market value analysis, and the 25-26 proposed millage analysis. Mr. Scully also reviewed the market value analysis, which compared the PA State Equalization Board's market values for this calendar year and for both Delaware and Chester County and for next year. The proposed 25-26 budget reflects a 3.4% millage increase in Chester County and currently a 3.5% increase in Delaware County. Mr. Scully reviewed those charts for the 24-25 millage rates for each of the school districts in Chester and Delaware County. The next item, Mr. Scully presented a resolution to adopt the proposed final next year's school year 25-26 budget in accordance with the Act 1 timeline. Mr. Scully advised the committee that the changes can be made to the proposed final budget up to the time of the final budget approval next month in May. The committee recommended approval of the resolution to adopt the 25-26 proposed final budget. And I do have a motion today that's on the agenda, and this will be a full roll call vote. Approval is requested for the resolution to adopt the proposed final budget for fiscal year 25-26. I so move.
I have a first from Vice President Bevilacqua. May I have a second? Director Fry, are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, Ms. Cherishworth, will you take the vote?
Vice President Bevilacqua,
Yes.
Director Fry,
Yes.
Director Christie,
Yes.
Director Durnell,
Yes.
Director Parkinson,
Yes.
Director Dietrich,
Yes.
Director Herman,
Yes.
President Fleming.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Cherishworth.
I'll continue on. The next item, as we do on an annual basis, we look at the food service program. Mr. Scully reviewed the food service program, equipment purchase, and the renovation plan. The schedule accounts for all the equipment that will be replaced as part of the cafeteria renovation projects and spans both from the current year 2025 through 2033. The committee members requested periodic updates of these amounts spent on secondary cafeterias from the 400K allotment. Mr. Scully reviewed the fund analysis schedule for the replacement plan. The plan will utilize existing cash within the food service fund to fund the equipment replacements. The committee recommended approval of the equipment purchases for the 25-26 school year. The next items in the Property and Finance Committee was related around our property. Mr. Burster presented the committee with the bid results of a previous approved 24-25 capital reserve project, and that was district-wide stage rigging with Atkinson Drapery for a total award price of $70,320. The committee recommended approval of that capital reserve project. The next thing, Mr. Burster presented the committee with bid results of a previously approved 25-26 capital projects, and they were listed as follows: district-wide facility conditioning assessments with the Schrader Group for an award price of $89,464, Exton Elementary School parking lot and driveway seal coating with Unitix Asphalt Services for a total award price of $9,415. Ruston High School field house roof replacement with Beaver Home Improvement for a total award price of $89,240. And the committee recommended approval of those 25-26 capital reserve projects. Mr. Burster then presented the committee with bid results for the previously approved capital projects as follows. District-wide building automation systems with Tri-M Group for a total award amount of $2,680,000. That's a continuing project we're doing across all schools. And the committee recommended approval of that capital reserve project. The last item that I have here tonight was Mr. Burster then presented the committee with a request to hire a capital program coordinator. This coordinator would assist with multiple capital and capital reserve projects to be completed in the upcoming years through our renovation plans. The position is anticipated to be needed at least at this point to the year 2031 through all our current renovation plan. This position will be paid for as part of the capital program funding and will not be funded from our general fund. The committee recommends approval of this position of the capital program coordinator. The next property and finance meeting will be held on Monday, May 19th. All are welcome to attend, and that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Vice President Bevilacqua. And Director Dietrich, please report on the Policy Review Committee meeting.
Absolutely. Policy Review Committee met on Tuesday, April 22nd. The committee reviewed time-sensitive policies, as well as policies that are reviewed annually, and then completed review of Section 700 property. Our next meeting will be on Monday, May 19th, and that is my report for tonight.
Thank you, Director Dietrich. I believe Director Christie does not have a report tonight on the Legislative Committee. We have no other business this month. So we'll move on to comments. Pardon me?
CCIU.
Oh, I'm sorry, Darrell. Director Brunel will now report on the CCIU.
Thank you, President Fine. The Chester County Intermediate Unit Board of Directors held its monthly meeting on Wednesday, April 16, 2025 at the Educational Service Center, TCHS Brandywine in Downingtown. Ms. Maureen Linehan, Director of Human Services, provided an overview of current staffing and recruitment efforts and growth trends related to paraprofessional support in Chester County. Ms. Linehan provided a snapshot of the Chester County labor market, which continues to face workforce challenges due to low unemployment and compensation for roles in high-needs special education settings. In response, CCIU has implemented aggressive recruiting strategies, including participation in job fairs, walk-in hiring events, and targeted social media outreach. Ms. Krista Fazio, Director of Communications, Marketing, and Engagement Division, introduced her team. They provided an overview of the special events offered by the CCIU to students across Chester County. They highlighted the scope, impact, and partnerships that support these enrichment opportunities for students. CME hosts 11 signature events for students from elementary through high school, including the Spelling Bee, Science Fair, Art Show, Reading Olympics, Knowledge Bowl, Shakespeare Festival, and more. These events promote academic growth, critical thinking, public speaking, collaboration, and real-world learning. The board also acted and approved a contract with the Chester County Sheriff's Department to provide school resource officer program. The next CCIU Board of Directors meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. at the CCIU Learning Center in Coatesville. That ends my report.
Thank you, Director Durnell. And we'll next move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Because we have a lot of comments, we're going to take a very quick 2-minute break before we start the public comment. Thank you, everybody. We're going to resume with the public comment on non-agenda items. Mrs. Santos.
Could we wait just a moment longer, because I need the board secretary to run the call.
Yeah. Now we'll move on to non-agenda public comments. Mrs. Santos.
I have 16 non-agenda comments this evening, and I read the statement regarding the rules for public comment at the beginning of the meeting. I won't read it again, but just acknowledge that they apply to this time period as well. The first speaker we have this evening is Robert Graves.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Robert Graves from the borough of Westchester, a new resident. I'm proud to be a new member of the community. I'm here today to seek support for public school students in the scouting program. We're interested in extending equal access to our character development programming for all public school students. Families in our program benefit from access to high-quality outdoor experiences that advance behavior outcomes, leadership skills, and strengthen communities. Youth who get access to scouting have almost double the chance to advance their achievements of their parents in both education and wealth as their peers. For many, myself included, that isn't considered to be the American dream. There are about 300 public school families that have found their way to the scouting program in Westchester, who we continue to serve. They complete thousands of hours of service per year and seek to do good for others through major food drives, school and municipal improvement projects, etc. Our organization is not effectively reaching Westchester area school district families. Currently, every private school in the district's area welcomes collaboration and seeks to gain the advantage of their families participating in scouting. Prior to COVID, there was a scout group serving every single public elementary school in this district. Because of current policy, our service has shrunk to partnering with less than 1/3 of the schools in this district. We would urgently like to do more for this community, and I'm here to report that this year, our focus as an organization is on Westchester schools. We want to spend money and volunteer leadership toward more active collaboration with this school district and serving the Westchester area community. Thank you.
The next speaker is Albert Artem.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Al Artali. I'm from Westtown Township, and I'm proud community leader and Cub Master of Cub Scout Pack 69 here in Westchester. I'm also a parent. And I have 2 children who are active Cub Scouts in Pack 69, and 2 more are Boy Scouts in Troop 222, one of whom was about to earn his Eagle Scout rank. Scouting has been part of my family for many years, and I've seen firsthand the lifelong benefits it provides to young people. Tonight, I'm here to speak to on behalf of all the Cub Scout packs and Boy Scout troops that serve the Westchester Area School District. We are asking for your support to allow us to recruit in our schools. Scouting offers children a positive, structured environment that keeps them engaged, teaches them critical life skills, and keeps them on the right path in a world full of distractions. Scouting gives kids something bigger, a place to learn leadership, resilience, teamwork, and respect for others. Currently, the policies that are in place is difficult for local scouting units to share information with students and families. This limits our ability to reach young people who could truly benefit from the opportunities that scouting provides. Offering relief to these restrictions could make significant difference. It would allow for more students and families across the district to learn the program that has been proven to build strong character, leadership abilities, and a lifelong commitment to community service. Our scouts participate in exciting activities like the Climber Derby, rocket launches, overnight camping and trips, and community service projects. These aren't just fun events, they're opportunities for kids to build confidence, solve problems, and work together towards a common goal. Whether it's racing a car built by themselves, launching a rocket, or learning how to pitch a tent as a team, Scouting is all about learning by doing. Partnering with our schools is the best way to ensure our students in the Westchester Area School District have access to these kinds of enriching, hands-on experience that reinforce the values we want in our children. Responsibility, citizenship, perseverance, and a commitment to community service. All the PACs and troops that serve the Westchester Area School District are proud to be part of the fabric of this community, and we would be honored to reach more families and offer their children their opportunity to grow into confident, capable leaders. Working together, we can build a stronger future to our students and Westchester as a whole. Thank you very much for your consideration.
The next speaker is Judy DeFonso.
Hi, Judy DeFonso, still living in the smaller, mightier of the two Goshens. I've been in the school district for a long time, and there's been a lot of changes over the course of time. I've seen budget cuts, I've seen Fugit's start time moved so that we can combine buses with East High School. I've seen class rank disappear from transcripts, which is a benefit to our students because the school is so well, let's just say, very rigorous classes. I've seen presentations on changing the school start time to kind of align with teen circadian rhythms. I've seen the homework policy revised, and throughout those processes, it's been more of a collaborative effort than what I've seen with the change that they're looking to make to the schedule at the high school. When we've had things like Keystones replacing PSSAs in 11th grade and, COVID mandates. When there were mandates, we had presentations. When there were changes the district was looking to make, it was more of a collaborative process where, committees were formed, parents were asked to join, teachers were involved, board members were involved. We'd get together generally in this room or, break out into groups, and there'd be more of a discussion, more of a collaboration. And I was thinking that kind of would be a better process for the way, with something as big as changing the bell schedule to have 2 lunch and learns at the high school. And I think my other thought was when you involve parents, it's like getting a bunch of free consultants, and it can also make families feel like they have a voice. And I think that everyone kind of likes to have their voice heard, and I just make that suggestion going forward to be more inclusive and collaborative. Thank you.
The next speaker is Nancy Wood.
Nancy Wood, East Bradford. In the last 5 years, this district has had a lot of turnover in administration. Each time we welcome a new administration, we extend our trust. But initially, that trust is not earned. It's based on the trust we have in our elected school board to hold administration accountable. The High School Schedule Initiative, a change that will impact hundreds of teachers, thousands of students, tens of thousands of parents, and over 100,000 taxpayers, is this administration's first major opportunity to earn our trust and show us your approach to leadership. Here's what you've shown us so far. You said the new schedule is going to be great for student athletes, but it wouldn't work for tech ed students, and you'd figure that part out later. That makes it look like this district values certain types of students more than others. When we voiced concerns about a loss of 2 weeks of instruction time, your official response was, it depends on how you define instruction time. That showed that you're willing to dismiss community concerns with semantics. You then claimed that your plan somehow increases instruction time, but that only turns out to be true because you have a goal of significantly increasing course load expectations for nearly every student. a goal that is only mentioned in a confusing matrix buried 3 clicks deep at the bottom of a web page. That shows us you do not value transparency. Your plan is physically impossible in our buildings without substantial investment, but you can't tell us how much it will cost. That shows us you were as surprised as we were about the scope of this change. You say that parent input is important to you, but the input you cited is from 7 years ago, more than 5 years before you started here. That shows us your approach to collaboration is mostly about appearances. When teachers asked for a clear plan and more time, you denied them, and then you tried to make it sound as though they never made the request in the first place. That shows us you don't know this community. We listen to teachers. They've earned our trust. This is not the story of a community that isn't able to accept change or embrace innovation. It's the story of a poorly managed change. It's a top-down push of a sweeping initiative that wasn't clearly defined, doesn't work for all students, doesn't have a budget, has no meaningful supporting data, and is lacking stakeholder support. If your vision is as good as you say, don't force it on us. Make us believers. Show us a real plan. Commit to meaningful collaboration. That approach will earn our trust. That is the approach of true leadership. Thank you.
The next speaker this evening is William Anderson.
Bill Anderson, West Goshen. I'm a graduate of Hillsdale Elementary, class of '96, Stetson Middle, class of '99, Henderson High School, class of '03. I married a Henderson Warrior. Our wonderful daughters are at Fugit and East. We are thankful for this community and we are proud to be part of it. Westchester schools have played an overwhelmingly positive role in my life and my family's life, and it's my honor to serve this community as a teacher at Henderson High School. First, I want to thank Dr. Christopher for beginning to work with WCAEA on drafting a process for the challenges ahead. The success of your proposal will require the buy-in of students, parents, and teachers, and it's nice to finally see that acknowledged. I hope that stakeholder input will be treated seriously. This seems like a sensible starting place. Second, I hope that the process outlined earlier can serve as a template for our collective plans for future middle school and elementary school revisions. We have a lot of other changes ahead, and parents, teachers, and students should be able to expect a similar process that treats their points of view seriously. Third, this timeline still strikes me as ambitious. Neighboring districts spent years creating careful plans for the successful implementation of their modified schedules. They had many problems to address just as we do, and they gave those issues due consideration. If we discover that more time is required, I hope that we are not reluctant to acknowledge it. Thank you.
The next speaker is Brian Johnson.
Brian Johnson, Westchester Borough. I'm here tonight to speak about the upcoming changes to Lunch Learn and my visit to Downtown West a few weeks ago. Before I get started, I'd like to thank Dr. Connolly for inviting me and Dr. Sherlock for inviting me on the trip as well. As I stated at the last school board meeting, I would keep an open mind when visiting Downtown West. The principal, Dr. Barker, was kind enough to welcome the district into the building and go over our questions and concerns before we even toured the building. I would say that I was pleasantly surprised by the thoughtfulness that went into the planning. They took the time to visit other schools as we have. They opened up the process to the community at large. They included teachers, administrators, students, and community members. It was a 5-year process to finally complete all the planning, answering hundreds of questions, and building the new renovations. They introduced a new schedule, the hour-long lunch and learn, and the building renovations once they were completed, and from what I can tell, not a moment sooner. I could back a plan like this. The one thing that stuck with me the most was that I had the chance to speak with Dr. Barker and asked him if this could have been done without the new renovations that were going on there. There was no hesitation from Dr. Barker. He emphatically stated it would not be possible to do it the right way without the 5 years of planning and preparation. This gave me pause to what is going on in our own district. I can get behind what the Downingtown Area School District did. I can get behind the 7 periods of class. I can get behind the administrative team if we do this the right way and if we all do it together. We need voices from the community at large, teachers, administrators, and students. I'm not asking you to stop the plans. What I'm asking you is to slow the process down. I've already been asked to join the committee in trying to improve Washington, and I look forward to doing that. I appreciate that Dr. Sherlock included me in this process. I want this all to work as much as you do. This will not only impact my day-to-day as a teacher, but soon enough this will impact my children as they come up through the ranks of the Henderson feeder pattern. Speaking on my view of how Henderson could handle the current changes without the drastic steps needed, I think there are far too many issues to implement it so quickly. The building does not have any large enough space, open spaces outside of the cafeteria. Downingtown West had to add 2 massive additions to their building to accomplish this. There would need to be a 2nd or 3rd large space added, and there currently is no space like that in Henderson's building. The capital plan does not have any renovations to the building for a few years. This seems like a problem that can't be solved in 1 year. I can get behind the changes the administration is proposing, but the timeline seems rushed to implement. The proper changes in planning needs to go into it. If this entire district works on the plan together, I believe we can make it a success. Let us not forget that Rome wasn't built in a day, and the high schools of the Westchester Area School District are no different than that. Thank you.
Robin Melbourne.
My name is Robin Melbourne. I live in West Goshen. I am both a teacher and a parent in the district, and I am here to ask the board to take some additional time to consider the new schedule. I taught in this district for 18 years, but I've only lived here for 3. We moved here for the school district. My daughter was in 1st grade when we shut down for COVID. Research tells us that she is in the group most affected by the school closures because those early years are so important in building basic literacy and math skills. Skills that kids build on for the rest of their lives. And this is the group that we will test the new schedule on. This schedule gives us slightly longer class periods, 11 minutes longer. But the classes only meet 3 out of 4 cycle days. That is a big net loss of learning time. There will have to be major cuts to the content teachers cover in a year. When you think of the schedule in terms of minutes, we lose 405 minutes of instructional time, about 10 days of classes. When you do the math in terms of learning days, kids will miss 45 days of instruction each year. That is 45 days of English, 45 days of math, history, and science. And I remind you that the kids who are going to miss these 45 days of instruction are the ones that research tells us are most affected by the school closures during their foundational years. Consider what you can accomplish in 11 minutes. As a teacher, I can use those 11 minutes to add in some extra skills practice or introduce a new concept, but I cannot use those few minutes to make up for 45 days of having a kid in my classroom in front of me doing work. Downingtown and Unionville have moved to an hour-long lunch and learn. If we move to this schedule, our classes will be 8 minutes longer than their classes are right now, 8 minutes. But they don't drop classes, so they don't lose 45 teaching days. My child will miss an entire marking period of days, instructional days, her freshman year. By the time she finishes high school, she will have missed 4 marking periods of her core classes. That is an entire year's worth of instructional time. I moved here because I wanted my child to receive a great education, and I've taught here for 18 years. I know that Westchester can provide that. I am here today as a parent advocating for my child, but I am also here as a teacher advocating for all of our kids. I do not want Westchester to be so far behind Downingtown and Unionville. I am here to ask the board to take the time to consider the cuts that this schedule will make and how it is going to affect our kids for years to come. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, my name is Joanna Nee. I'm a teacher in the district. I teach biology at Westchester Ruston, and I've been teaching in the district for 21 years. I'm speaking to some of the concerns of myself and some of my colleagues. I want to begin by saying I have been working with administration to address some of the specific concerns surrounding science courses, and I appreciate being included in those conversations. I believe that both the current and proposed schedules have benefits and challenges. Some of the challenges are not necessarily about the schedule change itself, they're about the still unanswered questions surrounding the implementation of the new schedule. We are respectfully asking that the current issues be addressed and that clear, specific answers be provided before implementing the changes. Some key questions are, how will the new schedule affect course credits and graduation requirements for students? How will supervision during lunch and learn be improved? The currently high student to staff ratios has led to an increase in fights, vaping, and inappropriate conduct on our campus. How will campus security be strengthened? We are especially concerned with students leaving campus during an extended lunch and learn period and propping side entrances open for individuals to enter without identity verification. How can we ensure a more equitable distribution of responsibilities among staff during lunch and learn? Some teachers support 10 to 20 students daily for remediation, while others have no students at all attending lunch and learn. How will the professional development periods be structured, and what are the expectations for these periods for staff? We are not asking to abandon the idea of a new master schedule. We are simply asking to finish building the plane before flying it. During COVID, we had no choice but to build the plane as we were flying it. We understood those were unprecedented times, and teachers rose to and met the challenge. Now we have a choice. Now we can fix and build the plane first. If we are going to do this, let's take the time to do it right with a fully developed, well-supported plan. Thank you for your time.
I might not be saying your last name right. Panosian, Carol? Okay, maybe she's left. So we'll move on to Kendall Beiser.
Good evening. I'm Kendall Beiser, a sophomore at East High School and West Goshen resident. I'm here tonight to discuss my opinions on the proposed schedule change in the coming years. As a current high school student in the Westchester Area School District, I strongly believe that this change in schedule will negatively impact students, including myself, my peers, and my sisters, who will be coming into the high school in the next few years. The proposals call for an hour-long lunch and learn, and while having a lunch and learn is important for students, as many are able to get help from teachers or take a break, the current schedule allows for that. My main concerns are the changes in class times. Many students at East that I've conversed about with this topic have told me that even now in the 47-minute classes that we have, they struggle to pay attention. I think that making a class longer than an hour would do nothing to benefit the students, but rather make it much harder for them. To add on, I also believe that the schedules proposed are very confusing and would be difficult for students to follow. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will take more time to plan and consider the schedule change.
The next speaker is Scott Stallone.
Good evening, Scott Stallone, West Goshen Township. I've taught at Henderson High School for 16 years. I became a Westchester resident 10 years ago. And in a few years, my two sons will begin kindergarten in the district. I care deeply about this community, about our schools, and about the teachers and the staff who are at the heart of our schools. I also happen to be the high school vice president for the Westchester Area Education Association, and I would like to share my thoughts tonight about the high school master schedule. Over the past 6 months, I've had endless conversations about the schedule with my colleagues, many of whom are joining me here tonight. I've talked with Dr. Connolly, Dr. Christopher, members of the school board, principals, supervisors. And while some of my colleagues are very supportive of these changes and looking forward to them, many are deeply concerned.
We're not here because we are adverse to change, as many of the earlier presenters have mentioned. And we're not here to oppose a new schedule. We're simply here asking that this board and this administration give this schedule the time and clarity it needs to be implemented successfully. I appreciate Dr. Christopher outlining some benchmarks, and I look forward to the presentation in November outlining the full plan for all the changes to take place regarding this schedule. I appreciate the formation of the committees and buildings to start looking to improve lunch and learn starting next year, something that I've been asking about for a while now. But the reality is, we still need more time for these changes. As many of my colleagues have mentioned, Downingtown spent 5 years planning and implementing this change, and we're trying to do it in 2 years. And while November may still seem like we have a lot of time, the reality is November is less than 1 month away from course selection guides needing to be finished. This impacts students and the courses they pick. We're leaving ourselves 1 summer for any changes to the buildings, okay? And while I appreciate that we've started pulling out lockers, one of my students came to me today and was surprised this morning to find out that she no longer had a locker to put her stuff in when she arrived at school. We're not doing this with the time and care that it deserves. This schedule is going to be my daily routine for the next 20 years of my teaching career. It's a schedule that's going to attract talented teachers to our district or drive them away. It's a schedule my sons will one day experience as students at Henderson High School. This is a monumental change for staff, for students, for the community. And we need to make sure that we're giving this change the attention and planning it necessitates. I appreciate some of the changes that have been made so far, but we need more time. We need more time to make sure this schedule is implemented correctly. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Megan Hedgecock, and I live in the borough of Westchester. First, I am here to support these teachers. We love and respect them. Second, I'm here for my kids. My senior, Annie, loves senior year. Like skips senior skip day, loves senior year. Because she gets to go to the hospital every morning as part of the Allied Health Program. She thought she wanted to become a nurse, and she did this program, and now she knows she wants to become a nurse. She's gotten into a whole bunch of really great nursing programs as a result of these teachers and this program. Annie has 2 younger sisters. They are also interested in the medical field. They would really like to love senior year as much as Annie does, and do the Allied Health Program too. I implore you to slow down the rescheduling to make sure that opportunities like Allied Health and TCHS don't fade away. I implore you to hear the concerns of these teachers that my kids love and respect. Thank you.
I'm a sophomore at Henderson High School, and I think we all know why I'm here. I'm here to discuss my personal thoughts about the new rescheduling that will be coming around in my senior year. To begin with, I personally don't work well if I'm super focused, super locked in, doing all my work, and then I have a bunch of time where I'm doing nothing, and I have nothing to keep me mentally stimulated. And then that will make getting back into the next part of the day even harder. That's why the versatility of our current schedule is so important, because students that like breaks have the opportunity to take lunches or study halls so they can have the rest they need throughout the day to stay recharged. And students who work better, if they're continuously working, have the opportunity to take a full 8-class course schedule. In addition to that, things like lab periods will be cut short, meaning that you won't be able to get as much out of science classes. Like in chemistry, we're doing a bunch of labs right now. Those need more than 53 minutes to get all of the benefits. In addition to this, hold on, I forgot what I was going to say. A lot of people will be affected by not being able to do programs like TCHS. I know one of my sisters would like to do that, and it would be really, really awful if people who are already wanting to go into those programs all of a sudden have that ripped away from them and aren't able to think of that. In addition to this, the shortened class instructional time will mean that AP courses have higher course loads, more stuff to do at home on top of everything high school students are already expected to do. High school students have to have jobs, they have to do volunteer hours in order to get into good colleges. Adding more and more outside of the school work will only add to this and make it harder for students to adapt to real life once we leave high school. Thank you for your time.
Steph Anderson.
Steph Anderson, West Goshen. I want to start my comment by saying I really appreciate a sentiment Dr. Christopher uses a lot when talking about our district, walking the Westchester way. I appreciate this because I have a history with Westchester. I was born at Chester County Hospital to a father who was a teacher. I went to Exton Elementary, Pierce Middle School, and I graduated from Henderson High School. My husband, who stole my thunder with this a little bit, was born here as well, a graduate of Hillsdale, Stetson, and Henderson. Our daughters are also Westchester born and raised, attending Exton, Fugate, and East. When you've lived in a place your whole life, it becomes a part of you. When we talk about Westchester, we have to acknowledge Westchester is not just a place. It is an amalgam of people, history, and moments. Westchester is a community. A bit of a dysfunctional family we don't always see eye to eye, but a community just the same. So when you talk about walking the Westchester way is community. Which is why the way the proposed schedule change has been approached is so concerning, because it has not been approached in the Westchester way. There are multiple aspects of this plan that are troublesome. Many have been brought to your attention over the last few weeks as well again tonight. First of which is that the original intention was to push this plan through without any current teacher, student, parent, or board input. When issues were brought to the attention of admin, they were either dismissed or punted to be figured out in the future. You set an arbitrary deadline without a plan, a timeline, a budget, or a collaboration. I've yet to hear why implementing this in a year is necessary. Why not 2 years? Why not 3? As of today, the district has still not officially communicated this change to the public, which has left most of our community in the dark to a change that has significant curricular and financial implications. We've also yet to hear why. Why is this change good and necessary for Westchester Area School District? I'm grateful that steps are finally being taken to bring teachers to the table and give them a voice. I hope this is meaningful. But additional stakeholders, parents, and students are still missing from the conversation. I do not believe we should move forward without being presented a comprehensive plan, including budget, timeline, and a rationale as to why these changes are necessary and beneficial for the district to the public. I do not believe we should move forward until all stakeholders have been included and their feedback incorporated. This process will set a precedent for future changes and decisions, especially if similar changes will be brought to the elementary and middle school level. So let's be sure to get this right. This is your time to convince us this is the best plan for our community. Even as more issues to address are uncovered, I ask that you delay this project by even 1 year to make the proper determination so we do not end up paying twice to fix rushed mistakes. Dr. Christopher and admin, if we're going to walk the Westchester way, we cannot do that without the Westchester community, so I'm eager to collaborate. Thank you.
Hello again, Megan Rykov from East Goshen. So the last several summers, I have spent part of my summer getting to have part of my book list be courtesy of the district. And that's because I've taken part of being on the ELA Core Instructional Materials Review team. And I feel so fortunate as a parent and a former student to be part of the conversations. I get to see our amazing teachers discuss the merits of the books and how they might incorporate them into their classroom. And these are books that they might not even use as whole class reads. Some of them might be working better as supplements. They might be, in small groups, but they still require parental input and teacher input. So imagine my surprise when all of these proposed changes to the high school schedule didn't involve parental input. And some of the things that have been mentioned, I was already concerned about. So some other things I would like to bring up. I'm the parent of an autistic child who receives, as a part of their IEP, social skills and strategies. I'm not really sure exactly how not having these classes every day are going to be beneficial for students with IEPs. I'm the parent of a child who experienced drastic mental health concerns, and the school district was able to work with us where we had my child actually only attend half a day. So one day it was in the morning, one day it was in the afternoon. That would be thrown out the window as a possibility. I'm the parent of children who love science, and my daughter, who is graduating, and this will not affect her, but it will affect many students like her, loves labs, and I want to make sure that labs are not only going to be available for AP students and the higher level students, that they can be available for honors level and everything as well. All of these changes, they are so much further reaching than just a book, which I still do believe that should have parental input, but they're going to cost more money. They're going to affect curriculum, graduation requirements, infrastructure. And then something I kind of wrote during the whole process of this is everyone saying, why rush? I know right now my family is determining, can we even afford buying a laptop because of tariffs? How is rushing this going to save us money? I am incredibly concerned that it is not involving community input, and I'm concerned that it is going to end up costing us more in the long run. So please think this through, and we do not need to rush this plan. Thank you.
The last speaker this evening is Neela Bender. Neela Bender.
Good evening, I'm Neela Bender. I'm from West Goshen and I'm a senior at Henderson right now. A few months ago, I was invited to Spelman to participate in a panel of juniors and seniors with the aim of gathering student opinions on the new high school schedule options. We were presented with two new choices, a 4-period alternating block schedule and a 6-period rotating waterfall schedule. I personally believed that neither schedule was suitable for our high schools. When I voiced this opinion to the adults in the room, a few of them essentially laughed at me and said that just wasn't an option. Though several other students on the panel agreed with me, the more popular option ended up being the 4-period block schedule. In addition, 2 out of 3 high schools voted for this schedule. So, naturally, I was surprised to hear that the district had chosen the less popular, more confusing waterfall schedule. Clearly, many opinions had been disregarded when making this decision. Furthermore, many teachers were concerned about where students would go during a doubled midday free period. Instead of asking the opinions of teachers who manage this period daily, the decision was made to rip out half of Henderson's lockers without warning, leaving hundreds of students without a place to store their belongings. In the past few months, administration has ignored students' and teachers' concerns regarding the negative impacts these changes will have on teachers' abilities to do their jobs and the quality of students' education. Even though this schedule won't take effect until after I graduate, it will impact many people I know and care about. For example, my brother will be a senior when the new schedule starts, and he's uncertain if it will prevent him and other students from participating in the Allied Health program. Teachers, especially those with AP classes, are already forced to rush through the curriculum to prepare students for end-of-year AP exams. The loss of class time caused by this schedule will only exacerbate the issue. I think I speak for all Westchester students and parents and teachers when I request 2 simple favors: that you ask for our opinions and that you please actually listen. Thank you for your time.
Who came out to speak tonight. We appreciate your passion and love for our district. Now, Director Parkinson will read a closing quote.
Yes, thank you. This quote is from an educator I consider an inspiration, Marian Wright Edelman. Education is for improving the lives of others and leaving your community and world better than you found it. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Parkinson. Our next monthly board meeting is on Wednesday. Please note the date change, May 28th, 2025. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Dr. Dietrich, a second. Director Dornell? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Meeting is adjourned.